Welcome to the video where we will talk about what we promised you in the last video, and it is...
We will talk about Dr. Ellen Langer. She was visiting us on the Dr. Joe 10-day retreat, I think on day 9 or 8. She was our surprise guest or surprise speaker, and it was so amazing and so good for us to learn from her that we decided we wanted to make a separate video speaking only about what we have learned from her, because it's really beneficial, especially if you're doing the work. And her topic was mindfulness versus mindlessness.
Our dogs are also ready to do video with us. Ari, she's ready, and Ami is sleeping.
He has a little hard time to breathe, but
Ari, we have to make her to go away from him. When we had the meeting with Dr. Ellen, we took a lot of notes, or actually I did, because I felt that there is so many gems in her every sentence that we should not forget about this. And I know that you can watch a lot of things and podcasts with her on a YouTube and so on, and we tried as well, but it's something different because you are in a certain state, you are relaxed, you do nothing else, just listening to her, and it's really different. It has different magic to meet people in person and to actually see how old this lady is, and actually what energy she can carry. I don't know if I was able to read this in her videos, in a podcast, in a YouTube, but I was still questioning myself, hey, how old this lady is. And she owned the stage. She totally walked there so confident, like every woman would be super happy to have a little bit of her confidence. And she spoke like amazingly clearly. She just really sold whatever she had to express or she had to present to us. Dr. Joe very much likes this lady Ellen, Dr. Ellen, because she was inspiring him a lot, and he also wrote books like You're the Placebo, or maybe he used something in a supernatural, but mostly in placebo. He used some of her studies where he is explaining, for example, about maids who clean the houses and who don't know how to exercise and so on, and who think that their job is not super energy demanding, and then when they knew about it, they started to lose weight and so on. But we will get to this. And I just wanted to say that nobody is going to talk about that lady in a form of like expressing how vital she feels to me. And I feel that I would love to be like her, and I would love to present like her, because she just walks and she's so confident. And ladies in her time were very low confidence. They were homemates, like they were taking care of children. They didn't do anything, and she is presenting in 2025 on stage in a meditation retreat. You know, it's something crazy for a lady to do this. I know there is a lot of men like this, you know, for example, the author of Biology of Belief,
Bruce Lipton.
Bruce Lipton, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And and he's older also, but ladies are absolutely rare like this. So it's amazing for me to see a woman to be this confident, this accurate, and this clear, and communicate something to the audience. And I'm really happy he chose her, because we were guessing there will be Jay Shetty, people were saying there will be Louis House.
I said that.
And you said that, and people also thought that, yeah. And so let's give you some of the examples or insights what she actually inspired us with. So first question, which she said, did you want to add something to it? First question with which she said, or she just opened my mind to think, is like, can robots be happy? And I was like, wow, that's a really good question, because when you are autopilot, when your body knows how to drive, for example, in a car, you are never really there. You can think about your job, what are you going to say to your brother or sister, and what argument you were in a few minutes ago, and so on. But you're never driving. You don't remember how the flowers were next to the road you drove, or you don't remember anything. And yet you still get to your point B where you have to go. And I was thinking, we live like this most of our life. We live on autopilot. We live like a robot, in a robot mindset. We just do things which mindlessly. And the robot is like an expression of a mindless person or mindless being.
That was the essence of her talk, that we were flying back home, and I was like, why do we all accept mindlessly that we can have only 100 milliliter liquids per bottle, and we can have only a total of 1 liter, and we have to pack it in a plastic Ziploc bag to get through security?
In an airport?
Somebody made up this rule, and we all mindlessly accept it. We don't overthink it. We just knew, oh, this is a 120 milliliter bottle. We can't take it with us. We have to put it in a smaller one. It doesn't really make sense, because maybe the 120 milliliter bottle has only 80 milliliters left. But you can't take the 100 milliliter bottle.
Yeah.
And these things, there are so many examples in our life. They're just mindless. They don't make any sense.
Like the masks in COVID time. People didn't wash their hands properly, and they were touching all the bread and everything, but they were still wearing masks. And they did this, closed the mask, and then they touched the bread or something, whatever in a store they had to buy.
Or she was making an example that she was going to get some ice cream, and it said 1 scoop is $3 and 2 scoops are $5. And she said she would like to have 1 scoop with chocolate and mint flavor. I said, oh, that's not possible. That's 2 scoops. She said, I didn't say I want to have 2 scoops. I just want to have 2 flavors. You didn't say I can't have 2 flavors. You just said per scoop. So please give me half a scoop chocolate and half a scoop mint. She said most of the time people do it, but it's also something that we just mindlessly accept as that's the way it has to be. If you want to have more than 1 flavor, you have to pay more.
You have to understand, these cheeky seniors are making a lot of fun about younger people. We met an amazing person in a cruise when we were cruising through transatlantic, and he was actually making fun of those younger people all the time, and he got special treatment all the time, and he's like, watch me, and he was a little cheeky, and he was using it, but in a very good way, with a good heart, and so when this lady in her age comes and says, I want to have 1 scoop but 2 flavors, people will more likely to do this for her than for a regular person. But probably. It's a different topic. She just expressed how we can think differently.
And it's something that I sometimes struggle with when I have like a smaller special request for some restaurant or some store, and they say, oh, that's not possible. The system doesn't allow it. It's absolute nonsense. People have programmed the system. We can manipulate it in some ways and we can make it happen. But they just say, oh, no, it's not possible. But when somebody like her comes to that ice cream shop and she requests something that probably nobody has ever done before, I think it's also really cool that it wakes the cashier or
the salesperson.
The salesperson wakes them up to like, wow, wakes them up from their trance, from their robotic living, and they actually start to think and be more mindful in that moment.
And then they realize that it's not possible, or it is possible.
Yeah.
We had a new store here close to us, and I was showing to Raphael, our favorite drogerie, DM it's called in Europe, drugstore, and I was showing him how new it is, and we were on WhatsApp, and this lady was like, yeah, you can get makeup there, and you can go to get yourself, to make yourself pretty. I don't know if it was like a evaluation of my look that day or what, but it was fun. And then I was so much looking forward to have her on my cash desk as a cashier. And immediately before I started to be in line for being cashed, pay, there was a change of ladies as a cashier. And that lady which I got was absolutely unopen, not fun, very closed. Whatever jokes I made, whatever...
They bounced off.
She basically showed me that I'm a very embarrassing person. And then I was really thinking about that lady. And I was thinking, hey, she was behaving like somebody died. Not a lot of people have to have some death in a family. But I was thinking, hey, maybe really she lost somebody. And she's not feeling like... she wasn't interacting with my energy in a sense that she would ruin my experience and energy, but she was just so neutral, like a Swiss person, maybe, or like people perceive Swiss people. I'm not saying that they are like this, but she was so neutral. It was for me so strange, and I was like, okay, this lady needs her space, and I'll probably not be making any other jokes about my look or about my whatever. I was in a joke mood, I'm usually in a joke mood when I go to that drugstore, because there is usually nice ladies there. So it was also putting me into some evaluation about the moment, and the present moment was important, and I had to be in the present.
Yeah, well, she also shared about an experiment that she made, that they had...
we talk about Ellen.
Yeah,
Ellen shared.
Yeah, that they had newspaper sales guys, and they were giving them a script. They split them in 3 groups. They said, here, you will just read the script exactly as it is. Don't change anything, and just speak to people and try to sell the newspaper. And the second group was supposed to...
This is one of the ways how to be present.
Yeah, was supposed to learn the script and just adjust one small thing that only they would notice. And the third group was the control group. And of course, the second group was selling much more than the others because they were more mindful. They were having the script, which they memorized, but they added a little something which only they noticed, and they sold more. People said that they're more charismatic, they would be more likely to buy from this person, and also the person selling, which is a little bit more mindful, enjoys it much more. It's not just a robotic program that we read, and it's for any job and any area.
They
also
put
musicians.
They put creativity in their work, and there's passion about it, and they have to be involved mentally in a process because it's their way how to sell things. So
they have to stay aware because something
aware.
New will be
and
added
reactive,
to this.
Yeah, and they have to be ready to react on every novelty which comes, which means a recipe for being present and not be a robot is to notice new things. And this is what Raphael wanted to say, but he didn't slide into it more gently. So
where this gets really important as well is in the topic of health and healing, because she made an example that she was having some food served at the restaurant and there were some pancreas of that animal, and she was a little bit disgusted by it, but then she was eating everything from that plate, and at the last she had the pancreas to eat, and it made her sick. And when she felt sick from it, her husband was laughing at her and said, you ate the pancreas already a long time ago, the last thing you ate was chicken. So it was the proof that her thoughts of eating pancreas made her sick, not the pancreas themselves. And that's the same thing. They were making an experiment, I saw it on YouTube, she shared it, that they were asking people to get infected with a cold, that they were willing to get infected with it. So they were invited into a room, they were having on a screen people playing how they are sneezing and blowing their nose and coughing, and in the room there was all over, there were cough syrup and chicken broth and tissues, all the things that would remind you of having a cold. And most people got infected, but there was no there was no germ, or what is it called?
Virus.
There was no virus that could actually give them the cold. They did it by thought alone. And that's what's so important.
So imagine when we are frightened in the news and we have to be scared of something all the time, what this collective consciousness is doing to us. What is it producing in us? What biochemistry has to be triggered so we actually get sick, because we are supposed to get sick. It's winter time. Now everybody's sneezing in the commercials. You turn on the TV and everybody is sneezing, and everybody gets the best medicine for these sneezes and coughs and colds, because this is what we do. This is how we are programmed, and we have to free ourselves. That's what she said. And I absolutely agree that how come not everybody gets sick, you know? How come somebody is so much questioning the system and so much resilient that they don't get sick? And they don't have to have the best immune system. They can just be not going with the flock. And it's really hard to not go with the flock, because if you go to Dr. Joe's event, then even though the people are not very skilled meditators or they are not into the work, usually 90%, 95% of people at the end of the event are part of the herd, part of the flock. So they were included and they were like swept with the whole energy of the whole group. And this is what happens also to us in society. You know, we are usually carried with this wave of fear of people. And also now we are going to have Christmas time, and everybody is going to be stressing, shopping like crazy. They don't even know why. And then there is this Christmas, and then there is quiet. Then there is finally quiet time, and we can relax and we can just chill. And that time I love the most, when it's quiet and everybody's quiet. And you can even sense it and feel it. I totally enjoyed that time, because nobody's rushing anywhere and everybody is finally taking a breather and just having a time off. And that's what we all need to give to ourselves. Hey, is it really like this, or are we bigger than this? Do we have to be carried, or do we have to ride the same wave as the whole society?
I think it's even that crazy that when a country like America, which I know they have a little bit more aggressive infomercials and commercials about
we saw it and we saw it in
about
America.
these health conditions, and I even believe that Americans would be tested more times positive for certain health conditions that they're being propagized to on the TV than other countries who don't have this running on the TV. I really think that, you know, shingles is something that is shown in America very often. We don't really hear about this or don't see it, and I'm sure that in America people have this case much more than in Europe. And that's just to show how powerful our minds are.
Yeah.
And I understand now, after listening to Dr. Ellen, Dr. Joe says, I don't believe that germs make me sick, my thoughts make me sick. This is the first time I really understand what he means. And I'm somebody that really struggles with this. When I see somebody coughing and that person is close to me, to not have going on in my head in the background, oh, okay, I could maybe get sick, and if I will, then it will be because of that person at that moment. Or I see people around me are getting sick, oh, it's just a matter of time until I get it.
It's called opportunistic. Viruses and bacteria. Opportunistic is that they do it, they make you sick only when they have opportunity. And if you give them opportunity. Of course, some people, for example, last year my dog died and I had then really long COVID and I had really long cough, and then I had again some sickness and I was still coughing like a half year. So be careful when you have somebody or some event which caused a lot of sadness in your heart. The body will want to get rid of it through coughing, for example, like in my case. And I was just exhausted from the coughing. I was coughing night and day and I couldn't stop it. And I knew that it's going to go away eventually one day. And and it went, it did, it happened. And this year, so far I'm really well, and even though I had very bad COVID, I'm fine.
It was also interesting to hear that she was naming a few words that we use normally in our vocabulary, which maybe don't make that much sense. For example, try. She
Yeah,
said
that's
trying
fun.
is a word that she doesn't really like to use because you don't try to eat an ice cream. Either you eat it or you don't. And it's with everything in life. Either we do it or we don't, but we use it so often. Oh, I'll try to do this, I'll try to do that. No, I'm just doing it. And also in our future creations, who we are becoming, okay, I'm really going to try to tune into abundance. I'm going to try to step into my future. No, I'm just doing it.
I'll try to pay for my groceries.
Yeah, no,
Groceries.
we just need to do it, we don't
Yeah.
need to let this stop us. Or remission and spontaneous, what is it? Cured or remission?
Yeah, about the remissions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she said that it's totally stupid because people have, they are in remission, but what does it mean? Like, if either you're cured or not, like flu or cold, you are cured or not, and the cold can come back also.
But we don't
like
say
the
we
cancer,
have our
yeah.
cold is in remission.
Yeah, we don't say that, but yeah, and she was just opening up few words, and I feel all the time when I'm in this planet that words are very inaccurately describing and programming our future and our reality. I really don't
Very limiting.
like
And they're powerful.
the limits of the words because they are very powerful, but they are also very limiting. So if you really look at the tree, forget it's a tree. Forget it's a tree because it is a living system and it is not trees separately. You can't take tree with the roots and make it separate somewhere. Just if you buy artificial Christmas tree, you can do that, but it's not gonna do the thing.
Yeah, and children, when they're young, they don't have the words yet to describe everything. They are in a very mindful and present state of perceiving everything. Everything is just a mystery. Everything is magical, and you can see the glow in their eyes when they look at things, and they can't just explain it. And as soon as you tell them that this is a tree, I feel like the eyes almost change and become like very narrow focus, and okay, that's it.
That's it. That's for the
Move on
brain.
to the
It's
next
done.
thing.
It's safe. It's good. I figured it out. And our brain, our mind wants to figure everything out in this planet, and then we feel safe. Like my 15-year-old teenage nephew. He really gives me absolutely, I figured it all out in this planet Earth, answers for everything. It makes me feel like very, very, very careful about myself. I have to really watch me because I have to give him the space. He figured it all out already when he's 15. And people want to do that, and the immature brain wants to do that, wants to have it figured out. Okay, is it gonna rain? It's not gonna rain. Everybody was wearing this and that, even though it's not true. It's his perception of life, right? We were going to the party yesterday, and he said, "Oh, last time everybody was in sweatpants," and I'm like, "Everybody was on that party in sweatpants." Yeah. Okay. So it's
Nobody had sweatpants on this time.
Yeah. So also, a lot of, like she said, a lot of examples. You can watch it on YouTube. And for example, about borderlines, it was super cool for me because there is a borderline for tests, blood tests, any kinds of histological tests, or I don't know, whatever you can imagine, medical tests.
That.
And there is a borderline. And here is a value which is like
regular, normal,
saying that it's a disease, and here is a value which is in a norm, in a normal, because we have borderline. We tested thousands or 100,000s of people, and we said, okay, this is normal, this is like in below this range when it's still normal, and this is like already creating disease. And it really depends how doctor communicates to patient. If they will tell him, hey, your blood values are a little bit higher, or you have to do this and we'll be fine, or they will say, oh, you have this disease. Or they have this borderline evaluated like it's a disease, and they develop this disease.
And then if we can create a simple cold, we can also develop a cancer just by thought alone.
Yeah.
And that's probably why doctors end up being right so often, because people really believe in what the doctors tell them. And it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous job to have this authority and to just give like finite diagnoses to somebody. And some people made it up that this is the normal range, that this is where we are supposed to be. Somebody made it up. But who made it up? And we all mindlessly accept it.
Yeah. And also, we are making ourselves fearful about things, about diseases. For example, my mother's stepfather, he was an alcoholic, but he also was afraid of hepatitis A. He was constantly romancing almost about hepatitis A. Wash your hands, don't do this, don't do that. Otherwise, you will get hepatitis A. I don't know any other person in my life.
Who talks about that specific thing?
Yeah. I don't know any other person who had hepatitis A in my life, but him.
Yeah.
He did that.
He got it.
Yeah, he had that, yeah. Just because he was like freaking out about it. I know that sometimes things happen and we have to deal with it, but there is like thousands of diseases which we can get. And if we would be fearful about everything, we can shoot us in the moon. Maybe they don't have diseases there. So, and I also make me feel sick. Because some are not sick, but let's say I make me feel fearful about getting certain things, because since childhood we were scared and like we still listened about problems with health, with women's health, and go to vaccinate and stuff like that.
You have to go to the gynecologist every year.
Oh yeah, in my country, absolutely. If you don't do it every year, you are like absolutely out of whatever, you don't care for your health and stuff. So yeah, it's a very big pressure from society, from the norms, how we are all functioning here, and now we have to really care for our health, because I was very scared about going to this women's doctor, and then I realized one day, I'm like, I am so scared to go there, but actually, is he going to tell me something new about my health? Or is he going to just name it in a Latin, the stuff which is already happening within my body, and I am the only person who can change it. Nobody else could change it. Yeah, they could maybe take something off and put something in, or I don't know. But you are the one who can change it. Like, there's nobody else doing it. Or you can also watch the latest testimonial from that lady which had a lot of tumors in her body, and they were about to remove her uterus, and she healed totally, completely. She was in Cancun now, yeah. So yeah, and we still think that we have to remind to each other that we are not what is written, we are not what is said and what is put into words. We are what is beyond words. I really still forget this.
If you're interested in this specific topic, you can search on YouTube Dr. Ellen Langer, Mindfulness, Mindlessness, and she definitely has also some speeches online that are going to be very similar to what we have had. And I have listened to her before, but I didn't really notice who she is. I wasn't really following her that much, but it was an amazing opportunity to get to see her in person. You would also never have that chance otherwise, that you would just go to some talk to her. We wouldn't do that, so it was amazing. We were just in the right place.
Yeah, and also at the end, one little super cool story. They did some experiments with male rats. Do you remember that one? And it was about energy, and how much we can last and so on. And they just put the male rat with the female, and they were
mating.
They were mating like crazy all the time, until the male rat was totally exhausted. He couldn't take it anymore, and he was totally done.
He had to go for his refractory period.
And he had to go for his But then The new male rat was introduced to this.
Female.
The female rat was introduced to this male rat, and he
Was ready to go.
He was ready to go. So it is so funny when how we perceive and where do we dig for our energy. You know, what is triggering our energy actually? You know, it's also in relationships when somebody is still entering new and new and new relationships, then you realize that maybe something is donating the energy into the body, or something is sparking in that body the new energy constantly, but also that energy has to be replenished and regenerated. And if we do this too often, then we can really take away from us something which is very, very pristine and very, very like valuable, you know. So yeah, so that was the male rats. That was a funny story. And she had a lot. She was talking about diabetes and how diabetics are, according to the time, they made time go faster or slower, and these diabetics knew that they have to have their insulin at 10 o'clock, and they already felt like it, and it wasn't even 10 o'clock,
or it was later.
Yeah.
So it was always according to the time that they were seeing. If the time was manipulated, they would still believe in that, or they would feel the symptoms in the body already coming up at that time.
Or if we talk about the time, also men were getting much younger. That was the counterclockwise study. It's also mentioned in Dr. Joe's book. And men were basically put into the environment 20 years ago, or not 20, when they were young, and they were listening to the music and reading the newspaper and having the hot pictures of the hot ladies there, and
from the past.
And
they were supposed to really not only romance the past and think about the past, but actually pretend and live like they are living 20 years earlier. And they got younger, they got taller, their finger lengths increased.
Finger length. I don't remember that.
And
cool.
Some didn't need crutches anymore.
And their telomeres increased.
Lengthened.
And they were playing touch ball at the end of the experience with Ellen. So it's really cool that you read about something like in Dr. Joe's book about the chambermaids as well. They were taught, that they were educated what is actually, how energy demanding is the work to be chambermaids, and then they were losing weight comparing to the ladies which were not educated.
They actually realized, wow, what I'm doing every day for 8-9 hours is much more exercise than we are supposed to do to lose weight. And by knowing it, they were actually able to lose the weight. And they were much healthier afterwards. But if you just don't know it, you can also do cold plunges, and if you don't know what the benefits are, you're not going to benefit from it.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can basically summarize this talk about mental rehearsal. How important it is, what we are mentally rehearsing. Do we mentally rehearse getting some disease or getting sick? Or do we mentally rehearse the future that we want to live in? Like it is happening right now.
And what can be as like a toppest of the cherry on top, because we already said everything, dolphins. Dolphin can recognize if a trainer is in a program, is behaving like a robot, if he is mindful, or if it is mindless, if he is mindless. So dolphins have really great perception of that, and I think our dog also.
Oh yeah.
Our dogs as well, because they can get very cheeky and they go on a couch when they are not supposed to, and
when you're
have to be constantly mindful, and we have to
notice new things.
And notice new things, because Ari, for example, appears on a couch every time we get a little bit relaxed into our robotics.
It always takes us a moment to realize, wow, she's on the couch, she's not supposed to be there.
And then, for example, my mother walks into the living room and she says, hey, you have a dog next to you. I'm like, what? She's here? She's behaving like she's part of me, part of my body or something, and she knows that we are mindless. So
they use it.
Share with us below this video, if your dogs are also your teachers and they know that you are mindless.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they do that? Let's share that.
Yeah.
We're
Looking forward to read from you. Thank you so much for being with us, and don't ever forget that you're unlimited. And if you would like to share some more time with us, we also have this video.
And remember that unlimited is just a word which is very limited.